Good afternoon and happy emancipation. Thank you for tuning in today to the University of Trinidad and Tobago's webinar and celebration of emancipation this year, Writing Connections, African Retention, in Trinbago literature. Please join me in welcoming the university president, Professor Prakash Prasad, who will open the session with a few remarks.
Thank you, Dr. Francis. It's my distinct pleasure to be here to join such a distinguished collection of artists. I really am, honored. And I want to say to each and every one of you a most warm welcome on this really warm, Monday evening on the occasion of Emancipation Day. Now, this is the second time that we are celebrating emancipation virtually, but be that as it may, I think it is important that we do so. And I think this way the message also gets out maybe to a different audience, so more and to probably more people, but we at UTT feel it important to do so. So again, let me emphasize that we are really happy to have you all and more than happy and honored to host this occasion with such distinguished personalities as Mr. Earl Lovelace, Zahra Gordon, the Freetown Collective represented by Mohammed, Norbese Philip, and moderated by Dr. Kayla Francis, our own. Mr. Lovelace actually is a master artist in residence at UTT, in addition to his other distinguished sort of endeavors. Now, it's Emancipation Day, as we know, celebrates when the occasion for the sort of stopping, in other words, of slavery, to use that word loosely. What I wanted to point out, and do so gingerly and with respect, is that we have to look at this in a context. Life is a continuum. The past, the present, and the future, they all linked. It's a continuum. So I know that that artists and writers have a very sensitive and an important role to play in highlighting certain aspects as they see. As we go about life, we don't always see things as they should be. And writers and some poets, etc., give us a good view, a special lens to see some of the things that we need to look at or to reflect on. And that is critical for society. I think particularly in the Caribbean area, where we have this plurality of cultures. I wanted to point out that maybe, like I say, from a point of view of an engineer, that we look at things in this way, that yes, you write on the past, you write on the present, but maybe, and I am making, like I said, a very gentle suggestion, that in some of the writings and songs, etc., in poetry, maybe we can look at the future, not as fiction, but as extrapolation. And I couch it in the context that we are looking at the reparations. And today I understand that Professor Beckles is on BBC on Hard Talk, talking about reparations, which is absolutely necessary for us. But I think from reparations, and it's going to come, we need to go to preparations. What do we do as we go forward? So I think this is something, reparations to preparations. As I talk about the continuum, this is something that we need to look at, that we need to go forward. So we must correct the past, but we must also prepare for the future. And in this light, some of the songs and poetry and writings, books that you do, I'm again respectfully and gently suggesting that some aspect of it should look at this. How do we go forward? How do we see ourselves? And it's not fiction, like I say, it is extrapolation. It's putting something, a vision, that as we go forward. And I think you all are uniquely placed to do that, uniquely placed. So I would suggest again that this is something we need to consider. And in closing, I want to thank you all sincerely and ask, for my own self and from UTT's behalf to please continue this work that you're doing. It is essential for us as a society to have this written part, the songs, etc., as we go forward. So again, I want to thank you, right? And I'm sure that this webinar is going to achieve the purpose is set out to achieve. Again, thank you and good afternoon.
Well, thank you very much. Mhm.
Thank you, President.
Thank you for
The title is Writing Connections, African Retentions in Trinbago Literature. And just so that we all know where we're starting from, the idea of playing with the word writing, spelling it RITE-ING, is both to highlight that we're talking about literature, but also in the act of remembering our linkages. It is more than just entertainment, it's more than just storytelling. There's a metaphysical purpose behind it. And with me today, as the president said, I have a range and 5 exemplary artists who recreate this right in their writing. We are joined today by Mr. Earl Lovelace, renowned novelist, playwright, journalist, essayist, cricketer, so some might not know that, and at one point, an aspiring calypsonian. Ms. Norbesi Philip, poet, playwright, novelist, independent scholar, lawyer, originally from Tobago. And I have to say congratulations on winning, and let me get this right, the World Literature Today